Good morning and welcome to the best home ever show of the Palm Beaches, Keller Williams Realty on Legends 100.3. Maria, Joshua, and baby Genesee will address your real estate concerns and bring you solutions. For more information, call 561-779-9452 or visit besthomeever.com. Now here are Maria, Josh, and Genesee.
Good morning, it is Maria.
I'm Josh.
And baby Genesee. And together, we're the best home ever team with Keller Williams Palm Beaches. Hope everyone is having a wonderful morning. And today we are welcomed again by Stephanie Coe with Mortgage 300. Stephanie, welcome back to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. How are you guys today?
We are good. How are you?
Superb,
I'm doing great. It's starting to turn into a little bit of fall here in sunny South Florida. I'm loving every bit of it.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you're seeing the market doing all sorts of interesting things. Do you see the market settling yet?
Ooh, we're getting into market already. So it is something that, a lot of people have been talking about. You'll hear it a lot. When prices were high, people wait for the prices to come down before they want to make the move to purchase something. And now the talk is, okay, interest rates went up. Are prices coming down? So actually, I want to turn that question on you because you're seeing it a little bit more on the MLS. Are you seeing more price drops? How are you seeing the competition when people are putting offers in?
We're seeing longer market times, whereas before there was multiple offers first day on the market. Now we're seeing properties sit longer that are overpriced, and then we're seeing the prices adjust as when they don't see the offers coming in like they want.
Yes, ma'am.
What kind of inventory are you seeing out there? How many months out or, increase?
We're seeing anywhere between 30 and 60 days.
Which is still pretty short in inventory, honestly.
Mm-hmm. It's becoming a more neutral market.
Okay.
Yeah, because then there's also condos for $520 that are under contract the same day they're on the market. So
that's what I'm seeing a lot. I'm seeing a lot in that 400 to 500 range still getting picked up really, really quickly. Multiple offers, people still paying over asking for that bracket particularly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, thank you for the insight on that. As far as the interest rate side on it, because that's a question that I get on my end of the same spectrum, where do people see the market going? I think the quick answer is, turn to the other factors, turn to inflation as the primary measure for it all. And the more, the inflation numbers come back high, the longer interest rates are probably going to stay high as well. So when people ask me about how long you think it's going to continue, probably until you see inflation start to settle out, because that's what they're trying to do is make money more expensive to keep inflation at bay the best that they can.
Mm-hmm. How has the hurricane impacted insurance?
Oh, golly. Hurricane Ian. So Hurricane Ian has caused a lot of side effects. Florida obviously is not the best state to own an insurance company because we get pounded from hurricanes on both sides. Hurricane Ian, and someone correct me if I'm wrong on it, but every stat I've seen is that there have been more insurance claims from Hurricane Ian than there have been from Hurricane Katrina.
Wow.
So it's been the biggest insurance claim event, storm, or at least hurricane-wise, in the U.S. to date. So with that, you see a lot of insurance carriers that have, have already pulled out of Florida in years past, moving the majority of insurance policies to Citizen, which is the government's instituted insurance carrier. Right. Now, Citizens relies on companies called reinsurance. That reinsurance is basically an insurance policy that insurance carriers take out because they can't afford to pay all their claims by just the premiums alone that they're collecting. And now the reinsurance market is starting to go under. So it's going to be this whole shift that, interest rates are high right now, insurance is getting higher, but even outside of that, because reinsurance is getting higher, it's government funded money that's being pulled back into Citizens. Citizens is a government instituted product. Right. So with that, now money is starting to get pulled from, where else are they going to get it? Property taxes. So now you see property taxes raising too. So it's a whole big system that's all connected. There's a lot of impact to it. I haven't seen it affect the demand for Florida just yet, but it definitely is going to be something that's going to change the script for real estate down here for years to come.
Mm-hmm. For example, we have quite a few number of clients who are saying, I want to buy in the new year. Right now, prices are too high and interest rates are high. But what would you say to the people who are waiting for next year for the interest rates to supposedly come down? There's a lot of other factors at play, not just the interest rates.
There's so many different ways you can speculate, but I think it all comes down to a mindset. You know, I've always had the belief of buying as early as I can. If I buy it at a lower price, cool, then I can refinance to a better interest rate later on. Not saying that that's the end solution for anyone. That is a common solution right now on it all. But I don't see assets in a high inflationary market. I don't see assets losing their value.
Yeah.
And real estate is the one thing that's been just proven, even sometimes that when it loses value, it'll come back up and it'll come back higher. So no matter when you buy it in, it's like a stock you're never going to sell it short unless you have to, unless what we call a fire sale happens, you know, if people go through divorce or a death or whatever, something that they have to liquidate the property right away and they're forced to sell it in inopportune time, that's when you lose money in real estate. But if you stay with enough comfortability to be able to make those payments on it all and not lose the home to a foreclosure or something like that, then I mean, you'll get your return on it. It just might be a year for some people and 20 years for another person, but you'll get it there, and it's a great way to protect against an inflationary market.
Yeah. It's kind of like the old adage, marry the house and date the mortgage.
Yeah, you'll hear that a lot these days. So transitioning, can I ask you guys a very personal question?
Absolutely. We are an open book.
So we've got a lot of different backgrounds in both of your heritages. Josh comes obviously from a Jewish background, and Maria, you come from a heavy Catholic background. You've got baby Genesee here. So what is your philosophy in just kind of blending that and how you want to raise your family and your marriage and all of that?
Absolutely. And we get asked this question quite a bit whenever someone sees us. That's like their first question. They're like, how did you make this work?
Mike and Ashley asked me that when they just came back from Greece after seeing all the different churches. And we talked about it, but they wanted to ask again. So it's fun.
So where should we start?
How much time you got?
So I think a good starting place is soon after we got together, I had given Josh an ultimatum. I said, I want a Catholic wedding or nothing. And at first he went along with it. Then a few years later, he said, you know what, that really doesn't resonate with me, and that's not what I want. So I let it slide, and deep down, that's still what I wanted. So then soon after we got engaged, my dad had a 3-hour conversation with me on why I need to break up with Josh.
I love it. That's after the engagement.
Yes. And Josh was at that time waiting in the parking lot for me.
I'll say that part.
Okay. You can say that part.
You're just skipping through a lot. But yeah, so Maria and I got engaged, and her father had this habit of wanting to speak to Maria in private and say, oh, hey, I'm going to talk to Maria for 10 or 15 minutes here. Do you mind waiting outside or in the car or whatever? So, like, okay, sure. The next thing you know, an hour or 2 hours go by. Or Maria's gone for half a day at her dad's house and wouldn't answer the phone or text or anything like that. And eventually I started to get kind of resentful towards it. And finally the day came, which she just mentioned, where I'm outside. It's supposed to be 10 or 15 minutes. Genesee's dropping pens. And I text Maria, hey, you know, if this is going to be another hour or 2 hour thing, I need to know. I can go do something else. And 30 minutes go by, an hour goes by, 2 hours go by, 2 hours and 15 minutes. Still no call, no text, phone call, nothing. So I'm like, screw this. I throw my hands up. So I just drive home. I'm super mad. I'm just, you know, cursing up a storm and just really upset and hurt. And so I get home, and right as I pull in the driveway, Maria calls me, and she's just like bawling like I've never heard her bawl before. And yes, baby, yeah, it's so fun. Is that funny? That's funny? Mommy crying? Oh, because you cry all the time. Oh, okay. I see why. Oh, hi, baby. And tax collector calling me. Not call back. And then so Maria's like, oh, my dad doesn't want us to get married because you have different views and Jewish, or I forget, what did he say exactly?
He said you don't believe in Jesus and because of your tattoos.
Oh, right.
And the tattoos.
More specifically
we got to
what he
throw
had
that
said.
in there. That's great.
And then so I'm like, who is he to tell me or to say if I'm biblical or connected to God in any way when, you know, he's a sinner himself and, you know, he's not perfect. And so I turn all the way back around. I pick Maria up and drive 30 minutes back to get her, and then back home. We're sitting in the parking lot, or the driveway, I should say, just talking. I'm still pissed off, running my mouth. And eventually I'm like, okay, well, I don't even really know what he's objecting to because I really don't even know what his beliefs are. And so I was like, well, I can't make any promises, but I'll go down this journey with you, and I'll learn about what you want me to learn, and I'll do my own research, and we'll see where this goes.
Mm-hmm. And I let go of my holding on to that it has to be the Catholic way. And so I said, why don't we rediscover this together? And we'll do 90 days before the marriage of just truly seeking God, truly praying together, reading our Bible, watching documentaries, and reading
90
books.
days before your marriage. So no pressure.
No pressure.
But you've got this deadline and a whole lot of money and everything else organized on
Lot
the
of money.
line. Dresses you can't
Booked the
return.
venue already.
Everything.
Yeah, we had before
That's
the
awesome that
engagement,
you
we had
guys-
booked everything.
That's awesome that you guys both walked into this new chapter with leaving every preconceived notion, every teaching behind, and to discover something else together. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm, absolutely. And Josh shared something with me a few months after this happened. And he said the special story that he had not told me of what
Keeps
happened at
dropping
the
the
Wall of
pen.
Israel.
The Wailing Wall, the Kotel. Yeah, so my quick story. Well, my father went into recovery the day I was born. He had a cocaine addiction, and so he wrote this 3-page letter to me, and gave it to me when I turned 21. And the first time I read it, I just cried my eyes out. I couldn't finish one word without just crying. And well, happened again also. So I brought the letter to Israel, and I read the whole letter out loud, record it on video, and then fold up the letter and I put it in the Wailing Wall, which there's a custom that you fold up a prayer and you put it in the wall, and you say some prayers over, of course, leave it there, and then God will read that, and it goes wherever the powers that be. So I did that, and when I was leaning against the wall and praying, there was as my eyes were closed, there was a face speaking to me. And I kind of sensed in my heart that it was Jesus, but I didn't want to admit it yet. So when I told Maria, I was like, oh, it's probably Moses or Jesus. You know, you can't really tell. It's a long-haired guy from the Bible, you know. Some Nazarene or Nazir, as the Hebrews say. And so then months and months go by. And I finally tell Maria that I thought it was Jesus. And we were in church. And it was during the worship portion where they're saying some worship songs before the, I'll call it Bible study over at Calvary. And there was like an audible voice talking to me and speaking to me, saying that my mission is to bring both Jews and Gentile or Christians together to meet in the middle and to praise Yeshua HaMashiach as our Messiah and God's Son. And so we've been on this journey. Our mission spoke to quite a few different people, and bringing the two together closer to what Jesus was Jewish, and he observed the Sabbath and Passover.
Let me ask you a question. So when you and Maria started that 90 days, where did you both start? Like, where's the first place you guys looked?
Yeah, so I've always been interested, for instance, things were just, God really just put different things in my head to really just read. So Enoch really spoke to me, right? So Enoch is the first person that's in the Bible to ascend into heaven. And I always thought it was very interesting that there's barely anything said about the first person that goes and ascends into heaven, right? And I was always intrigued by that. So I started reading that story and reading up on Enoch, and Jesus had mentioned Enoch even, right? And read the Case for Christ and the Hebrew Book of Matthew, and just been on this journey of the Apocrypha, and really getting that there was a lot of Jews that even believed in Jesus at the time, and that it was really just about whether you believe it or not, and just finding more and more history about it, and that it was actually true that Jesus was an actual person that walked the earth. And then there was even the Jews that were against him that were just questioning where his they didn't question if he did miracles or not, they were questioning where it came from.
So yeah, with the Bible reading and going to Calvary Church and just talking about our faith with other people, it's helped both of us get closer and closer together.
Sounds like just a lot of research, discovery, and compromise.
And seeking and praying and being open to
new ideas than you had held on to the past. I mean, it's all beautiful stuff.
And Genesee seems to think so. And it's led to a more cohesive, unified marriage. Because we have friends who just come together and they never even talk about it, and then they raise their children with really neither. So instead we're seeing the overlap of both and coming back to a more biblical understanding.
Awesome. How is life in the new home? I think that the last time we all chatted, you guys had just moved in the day before and hadn't slept much. You guys getting settled into a little bit more of a routine?
Yes, and we have you to thank, by the way, for our mortgage. It was wonderful.
Anytime.
Absolutely. And the renovation that took place afterwards.
You have some exciting stuff coming up, too, with it all. You're planting a garden in the back?
Yes.
That's so fun. I want to get that service on my place.
Yeah, we have a Jen from this DIY food foresting coming over, and she is making our entire property edible.
Love
so we
it.
have papaya trees, avocado, mango, bushes that you can eat the berries off of, medicinal plants, and I thought, how cool is that?
How many varieties of different plants?
I think there's about 50 different varieties that she's bringing. And the way it works is, because I don't have a green thumb, right? Like, I grew sunflowers one time, thought they were beautiful. After a few months when they died, I was shocked. I like had no idea that this was a thing, that they died. You know, I thought it would stay beautiful forever. And I tried to do herbs in the past. That only worked for a little while.
I mean, there's a lot to keep in mind. You got to keep it in the right direction. You got to keep it like this, whatever, you're just in choosing the plants out front, too.
Right. So the philosophy of food foresting is that the plants take care of each other. So the plants that need to be in the shade, you plant those next to the plants that will be bigger. And it's like an ecosystem that takes care of itself.
That's awesome.
Just like in the actual forest, the forest doesn't have an issue keeping itself alive, right? Everything just flourishes in the proper place. So that's the philosophy behind the food foresting at your house.
I mean, especially with inflation and where grocery prices are these days, I think I'm going to jump on that train too.
Absolutely. You know what? This is not what other countries do. They don't grow grass, right? Like grass is not the thing that people grow. They grow edible plants that they can use for all sorts of healing and nutrition.
That's awesome. So just ballpark on it, just because I have no idea where something like that is. I mean, is that a couple hundred, a couple thousand, 10,000? What for an average house?
It can range, what we're doing for 186 plants, that came out to just under $3,000.
That's awesome. I mean, that's
and the amount of food it's going to grow is like
my grocery bill
150
for
pounds of food
2
a
months,
year.
it seems, these
So,
days. That's
yeah,
insane.
we can give food to our neighbors and
That's really cool.
yeah.
Where can we reach?
Good call.
And Stephanie, how can people reach you?
So you can reach me at the Florida Mortgage Gal on social media. My phone number is 407-883-8552. And you can also find me on mortgage300.com. Stephanie Coe. And you guys?
Yes, we are the Best Home Ever team, part of Keller Williams Palm Beaches. Our website is besthomeever.com, and you can reach us by call or text 561-779-9452. So turning it over to Josh. Josh, what can you tell us about the property management world right now? What are the snowbirds doing, and how are you keeping everyone's houses in tip-top shape?
Well, it's that time of the year again. We're having the mass migration of these snowbirds coming down here. Cars, transports are starting to show up. We're taking delivery of those and putting them in people's garages and making sure they're operable and they need service, and taking down shutters and basically anything you can think of between furniture and servicing barbecues so they can grill while they're here. Fixing docks, actually. Storm, one of our clients, one of the pilings got pushed over either from a storm, maybe a boat pushed into it or what have you. We couldn't really figure out what happened, but so we're getting that fixed and we dropped off cars even at the airport for people flying in. Just
Are you
Many different
starting to
things.
see the snowbirds move down in droves? Just a couple people trickling in, or
It's still a little early, so not everybody's coming yet. We're starting to see the early migration of probably like 20% of the people are coming down this month, next month, and then after January, the holidays, a lot more people come down. You know, some come down for,
I am noticing it a little bit busier around here, for sure.
oh yeah. Yeah, some people come down for just a few weeks before Thanksgiving. They shoot back up north, and then they come down after, Christmas, New Year's. Or some stay down. Yeah, it just really depends, right? So, yeah, each person is all different and unique, and that's what's nice about us. We do the dance with them.
Quick question, because this is something that I get questions about, or I'm just curious about with real estate. With the prices or with the cost of interest rate and therefore the prices of the monthly payments being a little bit higher, some people waiting for the market to quote unquote settle down or whatever they're waiting for to see before investing. Is that pushing rental prices higher? Like, where are you seeing the rental market right now?
As far as the rental market goes, I think it's still pretty much on par with what it's been the last couple of
Okay,
years.
so no dramatic
Yeah.
spikes in the last couple months?
No, not really. The home market's just been kind of this weird transitional, because we also had, it was off season, right? So we had the combination of like a lull usually a lull in the market between August, September,
Yeah.
anyways. So between that and then adjusting rates and so on, it's been interesting to see. We've seen quite a few rentals on the market. As far as vacation rental, if that's what you're asking me, yeah, we've seen a big spike coming back. People booking up. October was pretty booked. November, we already have bookings all the way out through April and into May. So that's still super strong there. And what else to add to that? Yeah, it's been good. It's been great. People buying. It's a great investment for people. So we're seeing a lot of people right now trying to jump in and buy some vacation rentals or Airbnbs for right before season, because that's where they're really going to make the most of their money.
With the costs too, I'm hearing more and more people go back to. I remember we were talking about this years ago. Airbnb arbitrage. When you are renting a place from someone, you get the landlord's permission to put it out for short-term rentals, and then you lease it back out on Airbnb.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that method?
We do it. So,
I think it's great.
it's just like anything else. It's just another way of acquiring a property, controlling the property, and renting it out via Airbnb. I think it's a great way for a particular owner that doesn't want to deal with the daily rental side of it and just wants a more consistent income, like an annual rental. So, Airbnb, you'll typically get 2 to 3 times what an annual rental is. So there's still plenty of money for both the homeowner
both sides to make
and
it.
you to make money. So it's almost like carrying a note without.
So you can start
actually
getting some of the cash flow
carrying a
build
note.
up,
Right.
the ability to start your own projects fully.
Yeah. You can just build up more cash and then just get another one.
How do you approach the owners for a situation like that? And let them know what you're doing. What have you guys done in the past?
What we did for the property that we do the arbitrage is we just called the owner and said, we are looking to do Airbnb. Would you be open to the possibility of us renting this from you on an annual basis and putting it on Airbnb?
And that was before, obviously, you had committed to the rental, right?
Of course.
Okay.
Of course. Because if an owner is completely against it, it makes zero sense for you to continue if that is what you're looking to do.
Yeah, you don't want to dance around and kind of lie to them, I guess I'll say. You want to make sure that they know about it. And how you handle it is just, a lot of people don't quite understand Airbnb or daily rental or vacation rentals, and a lot of times they're worried about so much damage occurring to the unit. Well, that's actually really not the case. It's being cleaned a lot more often and monitored a lot more often throughout the whole time period, whereas if someone's an annual rental, they get complacent and they start breaking things and nobody's in there for months at a time. Next thing you know, the carpet's all ripped up and the water heater's leaking all over the place. You never know, right? So for vacation rental, it's a great way for someone to rent out, make their annual income, let someone else make a little bit of peace and actually take care of your property. They're completely responsible for anything that breaks while they have it. So
Yeah. Well, and I'd feel too that like Airbnb has certain, steps in place to make sure that if there's anything that's significant damage, that goes to their account and they're responsible
correct.
for
I
it
mean,
more
people
than
are-
you would have that accountability. I mean, what are you going to do? Take someone's security deposit if they're damaging a whole lot more than what they put down,
Right.
$1,200, $2,000, whatever it is.
yeah, because Airbnb will just ding their credit card and they'll ban them from Airbnb.
That's
no
really-
problem. So.
Really cool.
And we have quite a few on-market and off-market Airbnb units available. And for more information on those, you can call us at 561-779-9452. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you, Stephanie, so much for joining us. And we hope everyone has a very blessed and wholesome week. We'll see you next time.
See ya.
Thanks for listening to the Best Home Ever show of the Palm Beach's Keller Williams Realty. Join Maria, Josh, and baby Genesee next Saturday at 9:30 and call the team with any questions you have, 561-779-9452, or visit besthomeever.com.